Elon Musk cruised into this whole acquiring Twitter thing with the veneer of independence. People didn't think of him as a left-winger or a right-winger, even though if they looked into his history of trying to crush unions and dox journalists, they might have had an idea. That's all gone now. Everybody knows that he loves the right wing, and more importantly, he desperately wants them to like him. So he's been tweeting out all of these memes designed to appeal to them, feeding into the narratives that they believe. Along the way though, he's made some claims that while vague, hint at specifics, and that's where we're gonna have to do a bit of debunking in this.
You didn't see Republicans, when we had control of the Senate, try to rig the game.
Shows how the Green New Deal would be a deadly deal for the United States of America.
Our systems are not racist.
Okay, yes, we are now in the debunker, and we're gonna get to the tweet I was referencing in 1 sec. Along the way though, we gotta just touch base with a few things. One is this tweet: a social media platform's policies are good if the most extreme 10% on left and right are equally unhappy. Which is what you would get if you took like a really dim chat AI bot and got it to produce both sidesism after about 10 minutes of thinking. It's so stupidly shallow, and that's the wealthiest guy in the history of the world. He goes on to say though, I strongly supported Obama for president, but today's Democratic Party has been hijacked by extremists, which is a claim. As many people have pointed out, like he was like totally down for Obama. That's when the Democrats were reasonable. Now they're extremists, even though the president is Obama's VP. Like 3 out of the 4 of the top Democrats in the House and the Senate are literally the same exact animated skeletons that they were back in 2008. But yeah, no, and along the way, the right, by the way, has gone through the Tea Party and QAnon, and they tried to overthrow democracy, but it is the Democrats that are extreme. That's not the thing we need to debunk, but I think it's worthy of giving you guys a chance to weigh in.
Okay, really quickly, Biden, who was chosen because he was more conservative than Obama, because he was like the sort of like old-timey white man face they could put on the Obama administration. That's all I had to say. And now we're more extreme, okay.
Yeah, no, the right believes a caricature of the left, and Elon Musk is apparently getting his news from right-wing media and social media where everything is amplified. So they will take either something completely made up or find one rando and pretend it's the Democratic Party, right? And so they genuinely believe that that is what the Democratic Party is doing. The reality is the Democratic Party is doing pretty much nothing, right? They're not doing any of the progressive policies we wanted, let alone just centrist Democratic policies. They're not doing anything. They can't pass a goddamn thing. And they're the weakest people on earth. You gotta, look, you could, do we think you should criticize the Democratic Party? Hell yeah, have you ever watched the Young Turks, right? But the idea that they're too strong and bullying the right, I don't know, man, maybe if you're on a different planet, but that planet exists. It's called right-wing media.
Yeah, exactly, and it's wrong in 2 very fundamental ways. One, as you point out, the idea that the Democrats are doing a lot when they're not, but also that the Democrats that are in charge are the left is nonsense. So what they're doing is nonsense, it's made up. Who they are is nonsense, it's made up. No one on the right seems to have any idea of who is actually on the left, and that is because for decades their default position has been calling literally anyone to the left of Sean Hannity a communist. So it all gets collapsed down to one point, so they have no idea what they're talking about. In the case of Elon Musk, I don't know which it is. Is he dumb enough to believe the things he's tweeting, or is he just a right-wing liar? Does he not actually believe it, but it's convenient and he knows he'll get a lot of retweets if he tweets stuff like this? And you might think, well, he's got hundreds of billions of dollars. How could he be possibly motivated just by getting retweets? Have you ever looked into Elon Musk? Do you understand the person that he is? That is really the thing that's driving him. But here is the tweet that we need to debunk, and that is this obviously intentionally cartoonish, childish thing. This is the thing in our culture where Elon Musk takes a meme someone made and it's like purposefully like a kid would do, and that somehow owns everyone. I don't understand how it works, but the idea being that he has been left of center since 2008, but progressives have gradually gone lefter and lefter. He hasn't moved, the right hasn't moved. he's the same, and so now the center is to the left of him. Again, what exactly the bona fides he has as having been left of center back in 2008, I have no idea whatsoever. But anyway, the idea is that it's the left that has changed. Now, we're gonna waste a couple of minutes together by trying to get through to them, starting with facts, which is the weakest weapon to use in modern political discourse. So for instance, if you, I just have like a fun nostalgia for it. It's like making quiche for Christmas. It doesn't really fit with the modern world, but I grew up on it, so I'm gonna go with it. So if you take a look at this, it's a reference to Pew Research had done a statistical analysis of basically every vote over the course of years and years on the Senate side and the House side, broken down by Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats, I understand that the text is probably too small for you to see, on the Senate side are in this measure 0.06% more to the left than they were at the beginning of the study, whereas Republicans are 0.28 more to the right. And basically the same exact thing, slightly stronger, is happening on the House side. So in terms of actual votes on actual policy, it is not only objectively untrue that the Democrats have moved much to the left at all, but he's also masking the fact that the right has become far more radical. But we've been covering news, many of you have been watching it. You don't need a statistical analysis of Senate votes to know that since 2008 in particular, you've had the Tea Party and the Freedom Caucus and the rise of QAnon and Trumpism and the turn against democracy. Why do we need to make the case that the right are the ones who become more radical?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to break this down. First of all, Elon Musk keeps insisting that he's somewhere in the middle, right? And that in fact, that he was center left just a decade ago, right? I've literally never heard him say one left-wing thing. Not one, right? So now Rogan, for example, used to do things that were left-wing populist and right-wing populist. Over the last 2 years, he hasn't said one thing that was left-wing. He hasn't said one thing that's pissed off his right-wing audience. Elon Musk, same thing, hasn't said one thing that's pissed off his right-wing audience, has said dozens, if not hundreds of things that the right-wing audience loves and is Looney Tunes, right? They're getting captured by their own fans. They're so obsessed with their vanity.
Yeah.
And they know that if they say anything left-wing, their fans will turn on them. The zombies will turn on their creators. And so it's a fiction, it's a fantasy. And by the way, I challenged him on Twitter, that's hilarious, he's not gonna respond to me. But I'll tell you guys right now, you can challenge me, it doesn't matter. I said, okay, then prove it. Say one thing against the right wing. Because you keep saying, oh, I don't like the far right either. Okay, then name one thing they're doing wrong. Never, not once. The whole thing is propaganda. He's never been left wing, he's not left wing, he's never been center left. But more importantly, he's, to John's point, it's a childish view of American politics. Look, the right wing got so insanely right wing, they dragged the Democratic Party to the right with them. Reagan did amnesty, flat out amnesty, not pretend amnesty. Hey, every illegal immigrant in the country, you're now welcome to stay here. Okay, he negotiated with terrorists. He ran from Lebanon. He raised taxes 11 times. I can go on and on. I did a segment about this on MSNBC a decade ago, okay? Where Reagan's positions at that time he would have gotten kicked out of a Democratic primary for being too liberal, okay? That's how much the Overton window has moved to the right in this country. Not in terms of the American people. I could show you polling that shows you definitively that the American people are progressive, but Washington has become maniacally right-wing. And I did that segment 10 years ago. Now, since then, Tea Party, QAnon, 23% of Republicans believe that the Democrats are led by a satanic cult that is kidnapping children, leading a pedophile ring, and drinking their blood. I'm not joking. 23% of the Republican Party believes that. That is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. One side has lost their frickin' mind. The other side says, hey, can we get healthcare for everybody like every other developed nation? Can we get a livable wage? We want higher wages and more healthcare for everybody. And we're nuts? No. Elon Musk, either you're a gigantic liar or your intellect is that of a child.
Well, yeah, both of those things I think can be true, Cenk, but I think your very first point was right on. Elon Musk is a severely online billionaire. everything else about him trickles down from that. This is someone who just finds a tweet of like a trans person being like, hey, I'm so happy I got chest surgery, man. I'm really living in the body that I wanna live. And it'd be great if the government could cover this cost, because it cost me thousands of dollars. And it's like, oh my God, you living your life and like being who you wanna be is crushing my soul. Is it raising your tax rate? No, not yet, sadly. I wish that the LGBTQ plus community could magically do that to you, but we can't. But so it's just like insane that like if you spend all your time online and you get mad and you talk to right wingers and they're like, well, this person wants to do that and that person has a kitty litter and that person is like, hey, quick question. Did you read that online? Yeah. That's not true. None of that's true. So why don't you close your laptop? Why don't you stop looking at Twitter? Why don't you stop with the outrage and actually go out and talk to people? And you'll realize that none of this far left stuff or the things that you think are far left are reality whatsoever. So that's exactly what he's doing here. And it's really sad. I mean, what, 2012, Obama's reelected? That's when we got a giant shift to the left. Re-electing Obama? What the hell, like that? Cool, the same guy for 4 years. Yeah, no, I definitely see that.
But I partly see what he's saying about Obama. Obama was a friend to the bankers and to the billionaires. And he was a corporate Democrat extraordinaire. So people like Elon Musk was like, oh, this guy's never gonna touch me. This is perfect. It looks like he's doing something, but he's doing nothing. And I'm getting away with anything I want. Now, it's still the same thing. Biden's the same exact thing as Obama, maybe even worse. But there's now a wing of the Democratic Party that says, hey, maybe we should tax the rich. Now, we haven't yet. He's still paying almost no taxes. He's getting loans based on his stock and avoiding taxes altogether. But he's like, oh my God, Democrats at some point might raise my taxes to $1. So extreme. Bring back Obama and the fake Democrats who were basically Republicans. And he's not overly wrong about that. Obama and Romney in that 2012 election was basically the same exact person. So he was thrilled either way. They were both serving the rich.
And he's doing the exact same thing. I know people wanna give him some sort of magical, no, but he's got a Cybertruck and he's into crypto. No, it's the same thing that all rich Republicans do. They give you this imaginary idea of what the left is, and they can't point to anything. Once again, they're pointing to randos on Twitter, a random person they hearsay heard about. Every single day on TYT, we talk about how like Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that a space laser was funded by the Rothschilds is like beaming, I don't know, whatever, CRT into our hearts. Like every day we talk about the math books that are being banned. Every day we talk about the conspiracy theories. We have proof. Where is the proof that the left is so crazy? And if you say defund the police, my God, I'm gonna strangle you. It is not at all crazy. It is not at all left. And we're gonna talk about how far right this country's gone when it comes to the criminal justice system.
Yeah, and it also didn't happen. They love to just take that and pretend like it's like Abbott.
Where did the police get defunded?
It's like Abbott talking about how the Green New Deal wrecked the power grid in Texas.
The idea of it though.
Yeah.
Ideas are strong.
But why tell the truth when a lie is more effective and your base is never gonna check it either way?
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.